think outside the box, if you will. I mean, go there, go off campus. Let's think this through. And sure enough, that's where the Mustang was born. When it finally hit, it took the country by storm.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. You know, this is the Motor City, and this is the show where we put cars into the context of your everyday life. We love to celebrate our rich automotive heritage in this area, but we will make no apologies for our decidedly Detroit perspective. And the perspective we're going to offer you today isn't necessarily Detroit. It's one of an American freedom. It's one of what's the right thing to do. And when we want to know what the right thing is, who do we call?
Ghostbusters.
No, we call Chris Sawyer of thevirtualdriver.com. Chris, you came back again.
Well, I have to, John. It's part of my work release program.
Thank God you volunteer your time here.
So this is the Motor City? I thought this was Grosse Pointe.
Well,
but okay.
Yeah, well, you know, Detroit is not just, you know, the boundaries. Detroit is all of this southern Michigan metropolitan area. You know, this is the Motor City.
I can read a map.
I
just love giving him
all
hell.
the car makers, all the barons of industry moved out here, except Red. Red Baron was a pizza, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, good. So anyway,
Had a nice airplane,
today, Chris, we really want to talk about this new debate that's going on. How do we raise money for our roads? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we tax people for every mile that they drive?
No.
So, kind of know where you stand already, but it's not a new idea, but we need to get into the debate to help you sort out why you should vote. No way do you want to be taxed for every mile you drive. That's not the way to fund our road system, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, we have to find out what's happening
in the news.
That's correct. So in the news, you know, folks, there's always one thing you can count on: getting into your car, looking across that to the passenger seat, and seeing your significant other there, and saying, "Boy, it's really great to have you along with me for the ride today, dear."
And whatever you do, don't tell my wife.
You say that, you're heading down the wrong road. Yeah, but anyway.
But not in China.
But not in
apparently.
China.
Yeah.
But not in China, because Volvo just got rid of the passenger seat, the front passenger seat in their cars. Well, I know.
Why?
So, folks, let me explain this. So automakers have been offering longer versions of their cars in China because people in China like to be driven. Like in the early days of the automobile here in the United States, we had a chauffeur, and we would sit in the back.
Yeah.
And the chauffeur would be alone, and then so in China, where they stretched the versions of their cars so everybody could sit in the back and have one person up front. Now Volvo said, well, if you're going to do that, we'll just eliminate the front passenger seat. So check out this picture, Chris. Here's a photo of the new. They call this the lounge console, and it removes the front passenger seat to make.
Sounds like a band from the 80s.
It's the lounge console. Ba 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 boo.
Singing all those Dean Martin hits 24 hours a day.
It's actually like a built-in footrest. And look at this. They have this little. It's like a little table that can rotate, and they have extra storage space in it. Plus a 17-inch display screen underneath it, in case you want to watch something. You put your feet up, you stretch back. Now that is styling, babes.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. So when I take my wife to Macy's, I'm gonna have her sit in the back, and I'll just drive her around like
John,
that.
you're going too fast.
Yeah,
John,
she
John.
can't even reach me to hit me, and she'll just pull my ponytail. You do have a ponytail? No, okay, I'm good.
Ooh,
Chris, give me some
better
better
than that
news.
mullet.
Yeah, come on. I can't talk about
Speaking of seats.
seats.
Johnson Controls
Yeah, I know that company.
got a carbon fiber seat.
Carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber.
Oh, that's gonna be.
No, not gonna be expensive.
That's gotta be.
Mass production.
What?
Yeah, it's 40% lighter than a traditional seat.
Lighter.
Meets all the safety requirements. I would hope so. It can be assembled in fewer steps because you can mold it all in from the beginning and just sort of snap it and bolt it together.
Wow.
And due to a manufacturing process, 200,000 can be made on the production line every year.
So wait a minute. So 40%. That's huge weight savings because steel seats and automakers are gonna want something like that.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing this, would they?
So when are they gonna? We gonna see these things?
2019.
You're Karnak?
No, you're a Karnak.
Okay, that's very cool. 29. Well, that's very good. Johnson Controls. We love the suppliers around here. These guys are thinking of everything, but they're not thinking of this.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, you've heard about the Chevy Volt and, the Chevy, and Cadillac's got the ELR, which
Yeah.
I thought.
Is that what you? I kept calling it the Elder.
No,
Is that a Cadillac?
folks,
People thought I was drunk.
we are coming back. We're going to do a whole show on alphanumeric naming. We got to call our cars names again, folks.
Thank God they're calling it the Continental.
Yeah, the ELR. See, I remember ELO, Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, ELR is the Cadillac version, but GM is already starting a new. They're going to add another Cadillac to their plug-in
They
hybrid.
have to.
Why do they have to?
Otherwise, you'll never meet the fuel economy standards.
So the CT6 is going to be the new. Yeah.
Thank you, Johan Denishan. I love you very much. You're a smart man, but these names suck.
Yeah, the CT6 is going to have 2 electric motors mated to a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, right?
That sounds like
And
the
then-
Mercedes S-Class.
Yeah,
hybrid.
kind of. Yeah, and that's with the new rear-wheel electronic transmission. The car will provide acceleration, and we don't have range yet. It's got 330 horsepower, 430 foot-pounds of torque.
I could do that with a diesel.
You and your diesels. Okay, so anyway, here's what you can't do. It's going to have a 40-mile range on the hybrid, and it's going to get 70 miles per gallon in the EPA electric car.
Now wait a minute. So I'm looking
Yeah.
at your notes here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
18.5 kilowatt battery pack.
Yeah.
So 40-mile EV range, just
Yeah.
like a Volt.
Yes. Well, so it's a sedan, though.
That's about
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
bad.
not bad.
How much is
70 grand.
cheap at twice the price?
That's right. You get a discount. You'll get your government will subsidize it, won't they?
Probably,
Yeah, it's
because otherwise we wouldn't be buying these things.
Oh gosh, give me some news. That's good news in the auto industry, Chris. Come on.
Wait a minute. Just one more thing. Didn't they only sell like 300 ELRs?
Yeah.
And they got 6,000 volts sitting on the
Yeah.
lot.
People, you're not buying them. Get out there and plug.
Yeah,
in.
you want a really great deal? Go to your Chevy dealer and do a deal on a Volt.
Yeah, you can
just
get one.
about name your price.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Toyota is shifting to common platforms.
Wait a
Boy,
minute,
did
wait a
I
minute.
predict this? How many shows
How many
ago
shows
was this?
do you? If you have not seen that show, go back on our YouTube channel and check out the one platform, many cars idea.
Mm-hmm.
So wait a minute. Now it was the Volkswagen started it,
The MQB. Yep.
and then and I know Volvo wants to do it.
Volvo is doing it.
They're
Volvo, in fact, is
So
going
now
to have
Toyota,
one.
why would they want to do it? They've got more money than Oprah.
That's a lot of money.
I know.
They've got the Toyota New Global Architecture,
NGA.
TNGA,
Oh.
TINGA.
Tinga.
And they say it's going to cut development costs by at least 20%.
What?
They will shift half of their vehicles to that platform by 2020, and the new vehicle off of it's going to be
Yeah.
the Prius.
Wow. And we've seen some.
So that tells you a lot of things right there. So it's going to be package protected for hybrid. It's going to be package protected to do an electric car.
Right.
So
And have you seen the new renderings of the new Prius?
no,
It's scary.
really.
Yeah, they're trying to make it out there. It's just out there. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Yeah, I know.
that
So
could be really
Speaking
terrible.
of out there, you're just
Okay.
talking about weight savings. Everybody wants to save money on fuel. Guess what? Bridgestone got what they call a fuel sipper tire.
They drink?
No, they don't drink.
Well.
The tires are so fuel efficient because they're rolling resistance.
Oh, is this their new Ecopia tires?
You even knew about Ecopia.
Yeah, because I heard it first on their commercial.
He's
and
a
went,
cornucopia of Ecopia.
Ecopia, yeah.
No, we have the MP, anything they can do to boost fuel economy. They're doing it. So Bridgestone, this Ecopia tire, it says it can get you accurate. This is what I'm reading. I don't know if it's true. 20 miles per tank load if you drive 400 miles per tank load. You can get an extra 20 miles between fill-ups just by using this tire.
That's what, 0.5%?
That's a lot.
It's pretty
Now
good.
they said, road conditions can vary.
Your mileage may vary.
Drivers who have their foot in the bucket all the time and drive like
Pardon
crazy.
me?
Yeah, drivers who.
Hey.
Okay, drivers who.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's more like it. Give me a
But
break.
if you want to get the low rolling resistance tire, this is the one, and they said it's backed by, ready for this, 70,000 mile warranty.
Wears like steel.
Yeah, and that's my problem with you drive on hockey pucks.
Well, no, actually, a lot of these tires are using silica in them, and at first they were a little greasy, and Continental really has been the one who really pushed this technology.
Wow.
and they've gotten it to a good silica to rubber mix, and it works really, really well. And they're great in wet weather.
Well, it's going to be available in 43 sizes. So, see, we're saving the money just to read
Yes,
the news.
but it'd be available in 43 sizes. But as someone who owns 2 classic cars that need 13-inch wheels and
Ain't gonna
tires,
happen for us.
Yeah.
Me too. Hey, that's cool. All right, that was wonderful news, Chris. Well, listen, let's shift gears here a little bit, and now it's time for car trivia time. This is where we throw out this crazy trivia question, and we have you try to think of the answer before we come back from our break. Chris, this one is really cool. This one is cool because all you Uber fans out there, you're going to want to know the answer to this question because the next time your Uber driver picks you up, you want to throw this trivia at them, and then it'll be a good conversation starter in the car while you're driving Uberly. Okay.
Uber,
Here we go.
Duber.
Today's trivia car answer and question. This is crazy. Ready?
Okay.
Where did the term taxicab come from? Taxicab. We want to know the derivative of that word. Where did it come from? Try to figure it out. Don't Google it. Don't ask Siri. Think about it. And when we come back after the break, not only will we give you the answer to our trivia question, but we're going to put Chris in the driver's seat about today's topic, which is, should we really be taxed for every mile we drive? We'll come back and give you all that good stuff right after this. Hi, and welcome back to Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. You know, this is going to be a great show today because we're talking to Chris Sawyer of the virtualdriver.com on this really hot topic. No, we're not talking about that little shop in the mall where you get your pants. It's hot topic in Lansing is, should we be taxed for every mile that we drive? Chris, thanks for coming back to.
Oh, you're welcome, John.
Oh, this is really great. But before we can get into this,
We have to
topic,
answer the trivia question.
Yeah, the trivia
because
question.
I'm not sure about this one. It's obviously taxi is derived from one word,
Right,
and
then
cab
cab.
from another. But I can't see doing
two.
taxidermy in a cabinet and having that be a ride in the car.
Well, that was a great guess. Taxidermy and in a cabinet. That, Chris, you know, this is why you're such a journalist. No, but here's the, you'd be wrong. It's not taxidermy in a cabinet.
Did I ever tell you I suck at Jeopardy?
Yeah, that's why you're on this show. Okay, where did the term, the question was, the car trivia, where did the term taxicab come from? Okay, here we go. Ready? The name taxicab was derived from 2 words. One was a taximeter, and the other word was cabriolet. Now,
Convertible,
the taximeter was invented in 1891, and it was a little device that they used to record distances so the person could figure how much fare to charge the guy that was giving a ride.
That makes sense.
So that's the taximeter. So they used the taxi part from that. And a cabriolet refers to a horse-drawn carriage, later on we make convertibles out of them, where the driver stood in the back of the carriage.
Oh, that's right, because he'd be back there at the whip.
Right.
And,
So we got a little rendering, a little picture from, I don't know, 18 whatever, and that is a
That's cool.
So taximeter and cabriolet, they put them together, taxicab, and
now
that's
you'll be able to have that discussion with that Uber driver who doesn't speak English.
that's right. So now he might speak English. Well, there's some Uber info for you. So the next time you say, "Hey, buddy," now where did the word Uber come from?
Germany.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen. Speaking of crazy things that we come up with, this tax you by the mile that you drive. You know, Lansing and our politicians have come up with some killer ways to get into your pocketbook,
I
folks.
just got a letter from my
Are you on Blue's Clues?
My local representative.
Well, you
I
just
didn't
got-
ask for it, but she sent it to me anyway.
Oh, okay.
Didn't vote for it, but anyway, she was sitting there bemoaning the fact that the plan in Lansing right now to use the growth in Michigan's economy to pay for the roads wasn't good enough because, well, you know, we could have some downtimes and we'd be short on money. And that's possibly true, but it also shows you she doesn't think much of the growth potential for the state.
Yeah.
But on top of it, there are all the past things we have to pay for, and that Prop 1 that we thankfully voted down was going to take care of that and 300 other things it didn't need to take care of.
They
And
do
that
it.
was why people voted it down.
That's right.
It wasn't so much that they weren't going to vote for more taxes. They want the taxes to go for what they're supposed to. And I know what they're doing here. They're saying, if you drive per mile, we're going to put this thing just like Flo gives you to put on your car.
Yeah, plug it
and
in your
it'll
car.
tell you exactly how many miles you drive on Michigan roads, and we'll charge you by the mile, and therefore only the users will have to pay. Nonsense.
This, folks, is fundamentally wrong. And you go back to, and Chris is so correct on this, if you go back to the idea
You're
of...
surprised?
Well, if you're reading the virtualdriver.com, you shouldn't be surprised that he's correct on this. And that's why he's on the show. Because if you think
I thought
about...
it was because you couldn't get anybody else to do it, but okay.
No, there's a line outside. Oh, it says, look, free what? No. Chris, this is so important for people to understand how our society is built and how we provide an infrastructure to provide an economy.
Right.
So that, I mean, if you would say you only pay for use it, that means only the people with children have to pay a school tax. The schools would be bankrupt
Well,
tomorrow.
people who send their kids to private
only
schools do that. And,
Right.
But they're also paying for the
So
public
the
schools.
Obamacare would go down the hill because only people that are sick have to pay for health insurance, and they're counting on people who are healthy, the 26-year-olds.
That's how insurance works.
That's how. This is the whole model.
Exactly. The insurance is paid for the people who don't have accidents, don't get sick.
Car insurance
et cetera.
model. The military is paid for by everybody, not just for the people that use the military, or do we all use the military? I mean, it's a crazy way of saying we want to deflect the cost for the people that use it. But what about society? Society as a whole needs mobility.
And not just that, society as a whole derives benefit from the roads. Your foodstuffs are delivered over those roads. The books in the library are delivered over those roads. Everything that's in Best Buy delivered over those roads. People get, the people who do healthcare, they go over those roads. All those roads are being used 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for various reasons, and you can't just sit there and go, it's pernicious to go to people and say, well, you know what, look at it this way, the guys who are driving those trucks, they're going to have to pay, and we all know that they don't necessarily live here, and we're going to finally get the money out of them, et cetera, et cetera. There's a better answer to that in this state, and that is, let's bring our road deal with the trucks to where it is for the rest of the country. Instead of these road trains, basically, that we have running over there. I mean, my dad was a Ford heavy truck engineer. I remember him coming home and saying, the darn things are supposed to weigh 180,000 pounds. We built in a 35% margin, and he says, we just weighed the trucks this morning at one of his test fleets. They were over 250,000
That's
pounds.
where the roads, that's when we drive them, you hear that boom, 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 boom. That concrete's rocking from that weight, and we're paying millions to repair them.
Exactly. Well, plus we've also had for years in this state, we have not had people who are inspecting the roads, when they're being built.
Don't get me started on that.
I know.
MDOT has been
worthless.
negligent. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been negligent. If you didn't have the money to fix the bridges, you just said nothing. You sat there with your thumb up your nose, and you didn't call out to the world and to the people.
It's heinous that you didn't do that, and it also shows that you're very cynical when it comes to the people of this state, that you don't think we're going to take care of them.
You're hired to protect them and make sure that the roads are safe. And oh, by the way, you were collecting gas taxes for all those years and dumping it into the general fund and making the other crazy politicians think they had a bunch of money. Don't get me started.
Okay.
Tax by mile is not only a horrific way to solve this problem, Chris. It's another way how you could
you now know where people are going, when, where, everything. There's all sorts of information there. You don't want people to know that people shouldn't know, and it's more than just privacy, it's morality.
Yeah, and what we don't understand is that mobility,
This is an arrow at the heart of mobility.
Correct, and mobility is the reason why we're a free country. We can come and go as we please. It's the reason why our economy grows. Our economy didn't grow until the automobile and trucks, until we could sell our goods in the city next door to us.
Absolutely.
That's how we became the greatest country in the world.
Don't believe for a minute that politicians are that scared of the fact that in this country we have the right to own guns. That isn't what scares them. What scares them is that we can go where we want to go, when we want to go, anytime we want to, and we can move.
Right. If you don't like this town, you can move to the next one. You can go across the country.
They don't like that.
Unfortunately, because of toll roads, sometimes we're penalizing people that
There's only one toll road I wanted.
What was that?
And that was the one that Governor England wanted to do from the bottom of the lower peninsula to the top of the upper peninsula. That was going to be no speed limit.
I'll pay for that.
Hell yes.
That I'll pay for.
Sign me
That's
up.
better than going to Cedar Point. Yeah, I love it. So, folks, when you hear of any talk about tax by mile,
Call your representative
call
and tell
them.
them no.
You know, I know it's difficult to call your representative because you're busy. You got to wash your hair tonight, and you didn't
Email them then.
D-
It's not that hard.
Send them a text.
Do it between
I don't know,
Angry
get on
Birds
Twitter.
or Candy Crush.
Send them a tweet or something, please. Do something. Don't just sit there.
And be polite.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't stoop to their level.
But you have to put a stop.
We're done.
To it. You have to put a stop to it. It's just totally and completely wrong. So, Chris, thanks for backing me up on that one.
Anytime.
Yeah. So now, Chris, it's time to get into some fun stuff. That was so heavy.
I know what this is. The pick of the week.
Yes.
I got it right this
Yes. Now it's time for pick of the week. This is when you, the viewer, send me a picture and you say, John, here's a picture. And then you say, would you consider putting it
It's got to be a little more than that, John.
Okay, sometimes they don't say that because it's obvious. Sometimes they send me an attachment when I open up, my computer crashes, and then I'm into Chinese hackers. Don't send me that.
I actually had that happen.
Yeah, you did. So you send me a JPEG or a link to something or a video, and you say, John, this is really great. This should be on Cars and
And
Content.
it's automotive related.
Right. So, and then I put it on the air. So this picture I got, Chris, and when I opened it up, I said, oh my gosh, where is this from? And then I realized, luckily it wasn't from here because I go to Bell Tire a lot up here in the Grosse Pointe Farms on Mack Avenue. And if I followed this delivery truck, I would be afraid. Here's a picture.
Oh my God.
Here's a picture. So now this truck, now he is delivering tires. Now, Chris, these look new. These tires, I would say, talk about trucks being overloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
That's one of those
Yeah.
ones that when you take it in the deal,
Now-
they go,
now-
no, I've never overloaded
Now,
it."
Chris, you're the only person that would be able to play a video of this truck going down the road, and you would get up close to it and you'd listen for something. And what are you listening for next to the truck? You're listening for the little voice inside going, Bell Tire. So thanks for sending that picture in of that crazily overloaded truck, since we were talking about taxes by miles. Great photo. If you have a picture you want to send in, send it to me, jclor, carsandcontext.com, and we'll put it on the air, but there's actually more.
Pride in my ride.
Yes, this is time now for you.
Two in a row. I got it. Yeah. All
You're
right.
just getting on top of this.
It's been a while since we've been here.
You need to send me a picture of your car or truck or vehicle or
Please.
motorcycle, whatever.
And make sure it's not always a Ford.
And I'm getting
We
tired.
like Fords, but come on.
Isn't there some of you GM guys or
There's
import
some hot
buyers?
Chevys out there,
Come
some
on, there's
hot
got to be
AMCs.
something. And then why is it always people that are watching us on YouTube? Grosse Pointe, wake up. Send us something from Grosse Pointe or the Harper
There's some
Woods
great
or
cars in
Detroit
Grosse Pointe.
or anybody from Southeast Michigan that watches us on WMTV.
I'll send you pictures from my neighbors. I got one who's got a Lamborghini Huracan. I got
Huracan?
Yep.
Was
Got
it from the
another-
South?
No, it's Hurracan.
Oh, I know.
I got another one's got a McLaren MP412C.
Why declaring?
And then there's five
Well,
Teslas.
the
in
problem
my
is he's
neighborhood.
got to send it in. So I
Yeah,
begged this
and
last time.
John won't let me do
and
that
And so
anymore.
here's who sent something in.
I put the wrong pictures on it.
This is the picture of a 2015 Ford Explorer. And guess who it's sent to us by?
Must be a Clor.
It's my brother Joe. Joe Clor, who lives in Grosse Pointe Shores, sends me a picture of
So
his
what we
new-
do is we need pictures from Grosse Pointe that don't come from a Clor, okay?
Joe,
I'm just saying.
Joe likes to show off that he knows Roy Patrick O'Brien at Roy O'Brien Ford, and he buys a new car more than when the ashtrays
Did you
get
get
full.
kickbacks because of this?
I don't know, but you got another new car? What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. Just
We need a
find out what
sponsor
he's
here
doing.
on WMTV to Cars and Content. Joe, I know you love your new Explorer. Thank you for sending me your picture. I'm sure I'll get another one next week when he gets his next new car.
Yeah.
Joe, we love you. I'm just kidding. But listen, if you have a picture and you have pride in your ride, send it to me, jclor, carsandcontext.com, and we'll put it on the air. But guess what? There's even more fun.
This is letters.
This is when we asked Lauren Parrott to come up and give us the mailbag.
lovely
Go
Lauren
into the
Parrott.
mailbag of Cars and Contact and find out what's in the mailbag. What do we have? Do we have any mail today, Lauren? Oh, well, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, at least we got the hair color right this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you? Okay. Why don't you take this first letter, Chris?
This one comes to us from Dana A. of Grosse Pointe Woods, who watches Cars and Context on Comcast Cable Channel 915.
9:15. That means we're in.
HD.
Kidding. You
I'm
look-
sorry about the acne.
Yeah,
But anyway.
listen, yeah.
Dear Chris, I was watching the Autorama Extreme show recently. I love doing that.
Yeah, that's on YouTube, folks.
And,
You wanna see
and
it.
notice that you, oh God, I know where this is going. Notice that you use one word a lot. In fact, I counted 7, or was it 8, times that you use the word absolutely. Is this involuntary, or do you do it for effect?
Well,
and if so, could you perhaps use a different word every now and then? Sure, Dana, absolutely. What, did you
Dana,
expect something else, really?
Dana, seriously, you're okay, Chris. You may have used absolutely a few times on the show, but now they're counting how many times we use a word.
I guess so.
Dana,
It's just verbal Tourette's. What
yeah.
can I have? You know?
Dana, we'll work on Chris a little bit. You know, he loves doing that. That's a funny answer.
Anything to irritate you.
Yeah, that's. Well, I hope they're not nitpicking on me here. Let's see. I get this. Here's one from me. This comes from Joe S. of Grosse Pointe Farms, and he watches Cars in Context on AT&T Uverse Channel 99.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay. This one, he says, "Dear John, I saw your show on Bad Road."
Here we go. I'm just take it. Just grab it and run. You've got
Folks,
3:26 left.
he's counting down. I saw. Well, wait a minute. Let's find out what the question is first. I saw your show on bad roads and don't understand how you can say, meaning me can say, maybe Chris said it, that we don't need a tax increase to fix Michigan's roads. Just where do you think the money's going to come from? Oh,
Really?
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We told you what happened to the road money. We did explain this, and what happened was we gave them, MDOT and the state of Michigan, multi-billions of dollars over the years to fix the roads. But what happened is it sat into some kind of bank account for a while because we didn't need repairs.
The rainy day fund.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it got into the general fund.
Yes.
And then
then it got siphoned off to particular programs.
yeah, then look at all this money we have. Hey, let's spend it on this, and let's spend it on that.
it allowed
and
spending
this,
in the
and
state
that,
to go up.
And we'll give it to the schools, and we'll give it to the whatever.
See,
and-
because politicians do one thing and they do it very, very well. They buy your vote.
Correct.
Anytime a politician is sitting there going, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do this for you, look in your back pocket. Or actually, look in your neighbor's back pocket, because if you want that to happen, you might as well just reach over and steal the money from them now.
This is why we talked about the road problem that you already paid for. I likened it to a kid going to college. You say, here, son, here's your tuition money. Thanks, Dad. And then about a week later, you get a call, hey, Dad, listen, how's college? Oh, great. Listen, can I have my tuition money? I gave you tuition money. Yeah, but I spent it on beer. So Lansing spent your road money on beer. That's what they did. You gave them the money to fix the roads, and they spent it someplace else. They're responsible for it.
Next, it's a toga party.
That's toga. No.
And then one of the girls is going to get pregnant.
Oh, see what happens with beer?
The money just keeps going.
You kids. And that's what's wrong with the Lansing politicians. They are the ones that took your money, they stole it and spent it on stuff they couldn't afford.
It's
so now
bait
it's
and
up to
switch.
them to go on, take the money that they gave to people that they couldn't afford and say, sorry, dear, I know I bought you this diamond, but I really couldn't afford it, so give it back.
And there's one thing that
Is it going to hurt? Sure, you're going to get slapped.
And there's one thing that we can all do as citizens of this state to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And that is insist that they don't do anything that doesn't say this specifically goes here and cannot go anywhere else. And if it is taken out of that fund, the whole fund is shut down.
Correct.
That's the only way to do it.
So when you give somebody your tuition money, you make sure it's spent on tuition. You give somebody their bus money, and they go put it in the bus, and that guy sitting on the side of the road that says, we'll work for food, make sure he buys food. Chris, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, John.
Cars and Contacts. You can catch Chris Sawyer on thevirtualdriver.com 24/7, the best blog in all of the internet. And you can catch us on the YouTube channel, Cars and Context TV. And until next time, remember that our motto here is
Knowledge is power.
So until then, I'm your host, John Clor. Thanks for watching.
But nothing beats a 427 overhead cam.
That's power.
Oh, yeah.